Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on AI for accuracy in research and academic writing, key tips and strategies. I am Vidhi, your host for this insightful webinar. Today, we are diving deep into the world of academic writing and AI tools, aiming to enhance accuracy and elevate your academic writing. Please stay till the end of the webinar to avail exclusive discount on your subscription with your personal Trinka AI writing assistant. Here's a quick disclaimer. All content used in this presentation is owned or licensed by Crimson Interactive or its affiliates under the non-commercial copyright license. Unauthorized use is strictly prohibited, and we appreciate your compliance. Your active involvement is key to making this webinar a resounding success. Throughout our session, feel free to share your burning questions and insights using the Questions tab in the control panel. Our experts will answer your questions during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Now let's introduce you to the brilliant minds who will guide us on this enlightening journey. First up, we have Dr. Krishna Kumar, aka Dr. KK, serving as the Innovation Officer at Enago, a visionary in the field. Joining him is Piyush Agarwal, the Lead Product Manager at Trinka AI, who has a decade of expertise in building cutting-edge AI-powered education products. Together, they form a powerful duo ready to equip you with the tools you need to excel in academic writing.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here and thank you so much for your time.
Here's a sneak peek at what's on the agenda for today's webinar. Over the next hour, we'll be covering topics including importance of achieving accuracy in research and academic writing, challenges faced by researchers to maintain accuracy, accuracy-related themes in academic writing, and of course, live demonstrations showcasing the remarkable features of Enago Read and Trinka AI. And with that, I'll hand things over to Dr. KK. Dr. KK, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vidhi, for the beautiful introduction. You bring a lot of happiness and smiles to the world, I'm sure. So here I go. Let me know when you can see my screen.
It's visible.
All right, great. Thanks, Vidhi, once again. So I'm very honored to speak about accuracy in research writing. I am passionate about science communication, and despite my background in orthopedic surgery, I'm here in the academic publishing world because I feel that science needs to shape society. And, science also stands on the shoulders of giants. And who are these giants? These are the eminent scientists that progress society forward, or thinkers. And, preparing for this webinar, I was searching for some quotes that I can sort of equate to the accuracy aspect of academic writing. And so here I've chosen 4. I'll start with a quote from Carl Sagan, somebody who has inspired me, both in terms of science and science fiction. So the Carl Sagan's quote goes this way: that we do not accept things at face value, but that we go deeper and ask why. So I thought that you can equate that to accuracy in terms of fact checking while you're doing your research and pre-research related activities. Now let's go to a quote from Richard Feynman. There is no such thing as a perfect experiment, only a perfect analysis. So this I could equate to accuracy in terms of data analysis and interpretation. Moving on to the next one, a quote from Albert Einstein himself: if you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it well enough. So this can be related to data presentation and in terms of writing accuracy or simplicity, conciseness, etc. And finally, we have a quote from Confucius: clarity is a hallmark of true knowledge. And I equate that to clarity in communication. Now, with all of these quotes in front of you, in front of your eyes, you can believe that science is founded on such principles of accuracy and clarity and precision. And the reason why we are having this webinar is that these are the foundational principles of academic writing and science communication. And right now in 2024, there are so many tools out there. And we are hoping to discuss aspects of academic writing and accuracy and precision and show you some ways in which you can use some of these tools to improve your workflows and have more accurate science writing. All right. So why is accuracy important in academic writing, right? It ensures academic integrity. And by that, you mean, as a researcher, you are expected to conduct research with honesty and integrity. And you are also expected to maintain ethical standards in academic writing. With accuracy, you also are expected to be clear and transparent in communicating what you found, your study findings or research papers. Now, that is not only important from the point of view of you yourself, but the readers and the policymakers are also reading your research paper and research findings and shaping policies and understanding things. So you also owe a responsibility in terms of being accurate and clear in academic writing. Ensuring accuracy in your research output means that your credibility and influence is also taken care of. You gain trust, you improve your standing within your academia field and your subject area, and you influence the work of others. And that's very important. And whatever research that you're doing and you're publishing your papers, they have to be full of reliable data and valuable insights so that other researchers, younger researchers who are following your research path and going forward, they have a solid foundation to build upon. And finally, scientific rigor and reliability are also sort of they go hand in hand with academic accuracy, academic research, writing accuracy. So you're expected to foster rigor and reliability while you're writing your papers, academic research. And so you publish trustworthy papers and have replicable findings so that other people can build on your research and do further research. So these are some of the reasons why accuracy is very important in science in general, but also in academic writing. Now, with that, I want some audience participation. So I'll go to the first poll that we have, and I'll read out the questions and the options. So you'll have about 45 seconds to respond, and you have the pop-up poll coming up. And Piyush and I will discuss some of these ourselves while you vote. So the first poll, select the aspects you find most challenging to maintain. And you can select all that apply. The options are proper citation and referencing, consistency in terminology, accurate data analysis and reporting, grammar error detection and correction, accessing current literature, and finally, accuracy in tables and figures. I believe the poll will come up on your screens any moment. So Piyush, I'm going to invite you. If you
Yeah.
were to choose, what are your choices and is there an order?
I think first will be the consistency in terminology,
Right,
and then it will be error-free data analysis, and then the last will be accessing current literature. So this will be three options.
right.
Even though all of them are very challenging, but I'll choose these three as top three.
So yours would be two,
Three
four,
and five.
2, 4, and 5. Okay, in that order. So mine, when I was looking at it, I thought it was 5. I think 5, 1, 3. So I have a different sort of set of priorities, but I'm very interested now in the responses and the results of the poll.
Yeah, excited to see the what our audience
Yeah.
finds very challenging.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah,
All
three
right.
is
You have. So I'm just going to read out the most frequently cited or chosen is error-free data analysis, which is 3, and then followed by accessing current literature 5, which is followed by consistency in terminology, if I'm not mistaken, and then grammar error detection. So the audience seems to go with my, the way that I'm thinking. So that's interesting. Piyush, any quick thoughts?
No, I think that is very interesting to see that there is more emphasis on the accurate data analysis from our audience. I think for academic writing, that's very important also.
Right, right.
So
So
very
thank you
happy.
all for your responses. Thank you, Piyush, for your comments. I'll move on to the next slide. So what are the challenges faced by researchers to maintain accuracy, right? So there are so many things out there that a researcher is expected to take care of. So what are some of those? So reliability of sources. So as I mentioned in my previous slides, one has to check for the previous research, read previous research, and your research is built on other people's research. So ensuring that you are citing the right papers and they are reliable is a very important aspect. And in the modern day, especially in the last maybe 2 decades or so, research has become even more complex than it has been. More interdisciplinary research is there. And this is challenging in the sense that there are too many things for a researcher to even sort of grasp. And also, there is so much data out there. So that is another challenging aspect. Data analysis, again, is challenging because of the abundance of data. Just like the abundance of AI tools, there's a lot of data out there, and you need to analyze. And data analysis has become a very sophisticated skills, and some of these aspects again can be solved partially by some of the tools. Then for anything, we are humans and subjectivity will be a part of our writing or our communication. But at the same time, because we are using some of these tools, there could be an element of subjectivity and bias if you're not taking care of the fact that they are biased. For example, some of these large language models are inherently biased because of the training data, right? So you are also expected to be aware of which is the right type of tool that you need to use for your academic research, writing, or whatever task that you might have to do. Then not everybody is an English speaker. And unfortunately or not, English is a predominant language for scientific communication. So that is a challenge for a lot of researchers from Asia and maybe Middle East and maybe even Latin America. But again, the good news is that there are tools and there are applications that can help bridge this gap and help you publish your research. And finally, if you are not technologically aware, in the sense that if you are not aware of what are the tools you can use and how you can use them and how or what are the choices that you need to make, what are the things that you need to look for in an AI app or in a tool in general that will help you create a better research output. If you do not know that, you will be falling behind. And so these are some of the things, but the good news is that there are so many AI tools out there, some of them that we have our own branded tools that can solve some of these challenges. And, these help you do the things with increased, improved efficiency so that you can save time, so that you can focus on what you, that is a human, is good at, which is creativity and innovation. So that is the whole point. And so quickly, what are the capabilities of AI tools that we have around us? So the first thing is generating insights and summarization, which can be equated to literature review or knowledge discovery. There is a lot of data out there, and it is very useful for using AI tools to extract the insights from it. And you have to use the right tool for the right purpose. And you can also use it for summarization. AI tools are very good for data analysis and visualization as well. And advanced algorithms are there for data analysis. And you can discover patterns that a human mind could not discover using such AI tools. Citation and reference checking, another very useful aspect of AI-related tools. This goes hand in hand with literature review assistance. So for reading and discovering knowledge and finding what to cite, AI tools are very useful for you. For contextual understanding and domain-specific technology, as I mentioned, interdisciplinary research is increasing in terms of abundance, and you need to be aware. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I used to be an orthopedic surgeon. I need to be aware of robotics, for example, and need to be on top of some of the technology. And some of these AI tools can help you overcome that barrier. You are all aware of grammar checkers and writing assistants. Trinka AI is known to be the best in academic research and academic writing assistants. So that is one of the most, let's say, widely used use cases. And even the poll responses suggested that you can use AI tools for the same. And finally, AI tools are very good at consistency checks. And so something that humans are not very good at. And please try and use AI tools. These are some of the purposes, some of the broad purposes that you can use it for. Wherever you have the opportunity, I implore you to use AI tools. And with this, I'll go to some of the examples. We have chosen 6 themes out of all the possible themes out there. And I'll show you some examples, some pre-recorded examples for each of these. And this section is going to be very interactive. So for each of these themes that I'm going to show you, I will present something on screen, and I would like you to respond and tell me what is wrong or right with that. And let me make sure that the chat option is open on my. All right, great. All right, I'm going to go to the first, clarity and coherence. This is the first theme that I'd like to start. So you see a sentence on your screen. I'm not going to read it out. I want you to look at the sentence and respond in the Zoom chat about what you think is, let's say, something that is wrong with it and how you can improve it. And I'll give you a few seconds for it. All right, I'm giving you 5 more seconds. Anybody has thoughts of how to improve the clarity and coherence of this message? It's vague, somebody saying, Stephen, thank you. Grammar is wrong. Okay. If you have more elaborate answers, please, I'll show you. Okay, it is less specific, I think. So I'm going to show you the second option in this. This is a much more concise option. So what is right about it now? This option. So somebody is saying that sentence needs to be rewritten. So clarity, I believe someone, you're saying that there is clarity here. Okay, succinct. Yeah. Okay, great. So some of you have covered, it's clearer, it is more concise, etc. So the difference between the two is a very important aspect of ensuring clarity and coherence in your academic writing. So some of the points are, in the first sentence, the language is convoluted, the terminology is vague from the point of view of subject matter, specificity, or discipline, and it is confusing because it's too long and you do not know. There are uh, these verbs which are referred to as hedging verbs that are used. Now, you can use hedging verbs when you need, but the second option is much more, I would call it tight. And it is concise, it is precise, and it is an accurate statement. And yes, somebody is saying little words convey the same meaning. Yes, that is it. Concision is part of accuracy. So I'm going to show you how you can use our Trinka AI app to basically get the same result. So here you go. So I've pasted the same sentence and I've chosen the beta version of paraphraser that we have, and I've selected the text and I've clicked paraphrase, and you can see that the output is pretty similar to a concise option. And once I replace it with the option, and then I can run grammar checks to fix all the grammar issues. So this is how you can use an AI tool to improve your workflow. I hope that is clear. Now I'm going to go to the next example. There are some fun examples. Now, the theme is formal and objective tone. Again, the same exercise. What can you improve in the text from the point of view of academic writing? I'm waiting for some responses. You've already been very responsive. So, okay, it is vague, it is informal, it is like slang. Exactly. Very, very too colloquial. Exactly. This is a problem with this. So there are people who write like this, but we need more statements like this. So can you tell me what is right about the second option? Somebody mentioned that the first one is too personal. Yes, that's right. Formal and clear can be combined and may be made more clear, more specific. Exactly. So this is great. So let me go through what I noted. So the first one is informal language and slang. It is an anecdotal statement. Anecdotal means something that is derived out of an individual's experience, and science is based on evidence, mostly. So you are expected to avoid anecdotal statements. And I would even argue that there is less discipline-specific style, or it's a discipline agnostic style and tone. Whereas the latter one is a more formal, more objective, and it is a discipline-specific style and tone. Now, the app that I've chosen as to show as an example is the good old ChatGPT 3.5 and the free version. So you can copy paste something like this and get a very good result. So here I'm writing a prompt, write the following statement in a formal and objective tone. So the more detail you give ChatGPT a prompt or a framework, which is a more complex, structured kind of a prompt, you get better results with. So I'm pasting the same sentence and ChatGPT pretty much gives the same exact answer. So this is how you can use ChatGPT in an ethical, I would say, conscious, integrity maintaining kind of a use case where you write something and you use ChatGPT to improve, like for writing assistance. All right, going to the next theme, which is relevant literature search. Now here I'm going to introduce two characters, Jack and Jill. Jack is doing his literature research like this. What is that Jack is doing wrong, and how could Jack improve? Maybe 5 seconds. Google search, what is wrong with it? Do not set parameters, Walberto. Deep search, not superficial, should be scholar. Exactly. So I'm going to go to the what Jill is doing. So what is Jill doing that is right? Somebody has already mentioned Google Scholar. What else? PubMed with keywords, no specification. So Jill is doing things right. Better choice for reference search, extensive research. Very, very nice. Thank you for your support and your responses. So what Jack is doing wrong, I would argue, is that Jack is not using a tool that is specific for literature search, especially from the point of view of academic research. He's using a small sample size. Jill is using 50 as opposed to Jack's 5. Unreliable sourcing. And this point is related to doing literature research in ChatGPT as it is right now, the free version. And Jack is disregarding negative findings. So science, you're expected to publish negative and positive results. So something that uh, Jack is not doing, whereas Jill is doing all these things right. So for this, I'll show you Enago Read's version of reading assistance. So if I'm an orthopedic surgery postgraduate, so what I was researching on is an anterior crucial ligament repair. If you're unfamiliar with the term, this is exactly what Rishabh Pant is recovering from. So I have a research project where there are several papers which have anterior crucial ligament reconstruction and repair. So I have, these are PDFs that I've uploaded onto Enago Read, and I'm opening one such research paper. Once it is open, I can use the explore functionality and find related research papers. Now, this is a dedicated app for academic research, right? So you'll find a lot of related research papers, and this is a very good tool for you to expand your reading. And once you find the relevant literature that you want to read, you can add it to your own literature. You can even find survey papers related to it. And you can find a lot of related aspects. But at the same time, you can also read, annotate, and even use the Copilot functionality to explain some confusing things. So you can see as I'm picking up some light reads, I'll scroll through the paper, highlight something, and ask the Copilot functionality to explain what it is that that statement is saying. This is especially useful if you are working on interdisciplinary research. So here I've selected text and asked the Copilot feature to explain. And it is giving me a reasonable explanation, which is very useful for me. If I'm not familiar with the subject matter, this is a very useful thing for me to have. So this is how you can use a dedicated tool to improve your literature reviews. That was a theme. Let's go on to the next theme. This is domain-specific terminology. So once again, I request you to tell me what is in the sentence, what is it that you would improve and what is wrong with it? This is a relatively simple one. I'm expecting a lot of responses. So Walberto, you said the term I could, somebody said I would use all caps for COVID. Too open, specificity of COVID is missing, COVID-19 capital. Okay, great. So the better sentence, there's one thing that you have not picked up is the pre-cause is a wrong term as well. So pre-pathogenic cause is a better term for this, and COVID-19, as many of you have mentioned, is an uppercase and COVID-19 is there. So this sort of a thing is what you are expected to do while you're writing your own research as well. And there are so many tools out there that you can get this sort of a thing done with ease. So the first one is very plain speak, lay terminology and convention. The second one is more accurate terminology and discipline-specific conventions. So as an example of an AI tool, I've chosen to use our own Trinka AI, which is an academic writing assistant, for which I have pasted a sentence and I have used the academic style and I've chosen the IEEE style guide. And I am letting it save. These are my settings that I'm saving, and I'm running the basic grammar checker. So it is finding typographical errors, which are technical really. And I'm fixing those, and I'm going to fix some of the, let's say, plain speak kind of verbs that are less preferred. And then this final one is for changing the case of a non-proper noun expansion. So these are the things that you can do very easily with apps like Trinka AI. So keep in mind, you have to use some apps like this to improve your workflow while you can focus on your creativity and generating new content. Going to the fifth one, I have about 5 minutes left, I believe. Accuracy in tables and figures, and we bring back Jack and Jill, but the roles are reversed because we have to be gender aware here. So Jill is doing this. What is Jill doing that you would want to avoid in the context of academic research? This is pretty much very leading tips I've given in the bulleted list. All of those things are wrong. What is wrong about it? Okay, data manipulation. Excellent. Properly label and annotate. Okay. Wrong types of manipulation. Okay, so let's see what Jack is doing. Jack is doing the right things, in my opinion. So this is pretty straightforward. I don't think you need to explain what Jack is doing right. But in terms of figures and tables, accuracy is very important and it's often ignored. And there are now AI-based algorithms that can help detect manipulation of data, primarily figures that I'll show you an example. But what Jill is doing is data manipulation, which could involve rotating figures, copying figures, reusing figures, unclear labeling. I don't have another example to show you, but it's very clear that what I've explained is unclear labeling. Then one aspect that you also have to take care of while you're writing your research paper is that you have to cite the right table or figure for the right statement. So some people miss out on that. So the do's and don'ts are pretty clear for you. So as an example, I've chosen to show you Proofig, which is an AI-based image manipulation tool. And for this, I have simply copied a segment of their own demo video. In this, the researcher has uploaded a research paper, which is what is being shown right now. And these red boxes with, you can see the red boxes here, these are identified by the Proofig app, changes rotation, and there's a 64% match in this. So the researcher can also use things like different color gradients as well as filters to sort of evaluate this thing further and then add to a report that they can download and then provide a response as to why this happened. Is it an overlook, an honest overlook, or is it something related to that they try to modify? So this is another thing that they specify. Proofig has Western blot image manipulation as well. In this case, there are two similar segments which are scale. This is a zoomed, inverted, 180-degree rotated version of this little box here. And again, you can add it to your report and justify whether this is accidental or this is something that you did not notice, or somebody, it could be somebody in your team who is doing this type of image manipulation. Now, going to the last example, style and formatting consistency. This is basically a proofreading test for you, for those who are very proficient in writing. So Jack has written this. In terms of style and formatting consistency, what has Jack not done right? And I'll show you within a few seconds what Jill has done, and you can compare. So here is what Jill has done. All right. I'm expecting some easy responses here. What has Jill done that is right? Citations are not proper. In Jack's case, I'm expecting Mohammed. Anybody else? Use of undefined abbreviation. Excellent catch. And that is right. So quickly, I'm showing you what is right and what is wrong. These are the don'ts. So the abbreviation miss that Anne has caught is this: Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. IPCC is abbreviated here, but it's not abbreviated in this case. The citation styles are wrong. There are different fonts used. And you can see that this text seems to not be a template applied file with ragged margins. This one is. So Jack is doing a lot of things right. So again, you've got most of these things. Excellent work. Now I'll quickly go to one slide before a poll. Oh, sorry. This is an example. I meant to show you an example. This is again Trinka AI. I've chosen academic and AMA. And in this case, the app is able to detect something that is very sort of difficult to detect. You'll see what it detects. So it has detected that figure title citations are inconsistent. So one is FIG period, the other one is figure, the expansion. And so this, imagine in a 50-page document, you can do it quickly. There are so many tools out there, and you can use even Trinka AI to do such things. Now, that brings me to two quick slides before I hand it over to Piyush. Now, we conducted a researcher poll. We sent out a survey to researchers from around the world to find what they thought, who had the responsibility to ensure accuracy in content that is generated by LLMs like ChatGPT. And we were very surprised to find that the vast majority, 37% of the ownership, the researchers thought that that responsibility is there alone, and 24% with the funding bodies rather, 20% with the peer reviewers, and ChatGPT or OpenAI only had 15%. And this is from a total of approximately 8,000 responses. So you can imagine this is I think a few months old survey, but at the same time, this stays true. The ownership, the accountability of the content that you get out of the AI tool stays with the researchers more than anybody else. Now, I'll bring us to the second poll, after which I'll let Piyush take over. So this is the second poll. Select all the AI features most beneficial for your writing. And the poll should come up any moment now. Piyush, I'm going to ask you to respond on this as well. What is the order that you would pick? I'm expecting you to pick more
So
than.
first one is the grammar and style. I think second I'll pick literature review, and
Mhm.
third I will pick the data visualization.
So 1, 2, and 5. For me, it would be, I would say 2, 3, no, 2, 5, and 3.
Okay, let's
Hmm.
see what our audience says.
Yes. And I believe they have about 30 seconds or maybe 15 seconds left.
Yeah. 1,
1, 3, 5. Please select on the poll itself. That'll be great. Or you're selecting the order 1, 3, 5. Okay, that's great. All right. I'm expecting the responses to be with us. All right. The vast majority is grammar and style, 81%, followed by literature review, which is what Piyush, your order, and citation checking and data visualization and discipline specific support. Okay, that's great. So this poll, the audience resonated with your choices more
Yeah.
than mine.
Yeah, and it was very interesting to
With
see
this,
that citation checking is on number 3 place. So that's very insightful. Thanks,
right.
audience, for participating in the poll.
Right. So again, I'm just slightly out of time, and I want Piyush to be able to show all the other wonderful features that one could show. So I'm going to let Piyush show the demo sessions. Hold on. All right. Piyush, over to you for the demo session.
Thank you so much, KK. Um,
Yeah, let me just get out of my screen. All right. It's all yours now.
Thanks, KK. Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, I'm going to demonstrate that how using AI tools you can improve the accuracy, and I'll take the examples of Trinka and Enago Read, and I'll build on top of what Dr. KK had just discussed. So I'll share my screen and show you some of the features of Trinka AI first, and then Enago Read. So this is Trinka.ai. You can visit Trinka.ai. You can create an account. It's completely free. We don't require a credit card to create an account. Once you create an account, you will come to My Drive screen. This is the screen where you can manage all your manuscripts. If you are writing multiple documents, you can arrange them. You can create folders. You can create subfolders. You can archive them, and so on. And Trinka is also available as a browser extension as well as the Word plugin. So I'm going to give you some specific things that how you can use the accuracy. So you can open this file here. So I've already opened this file. So this is how this file will open on Trinka. So this is our cloud editor. Before I zoom into the specific of this, let me just quickly give you a quick walkthrough of the editor. So this editor offers multiple values to a user. So as a author, as a writer, you can select what kind of document you are writing, academic, legal, general, and so on, and select the journal's target, style guide, and so on. And you can also personalize it based on your writing choices and so on. So this is very, you can personalize this. Now zooming into the specific thing, that how you can improve the accuracy of academic writing using Trinka.ai. And I want to highlight the fact that Trinka is custom built for academic and technical writing. So first example here, what I have taken is the clarity and coherence. So as Dr. KK also mentioned that using Trinka's paraphraser feature, you can improve the clarity. But I'm going to demonstrate to you that how our grammar error checker, AI powered grammar error checker, improves the clarity and coherence. So here you see this example. This case report presents an 11-year-old patient with a rare combination of this thing. And then this is how this says that an 11-year-old patient presented with the uh, uh, with a rare combination of the disease. And then this is one example where then it says that it further says that it can be a boy. And then a formal and objective tone here, if you see, then didn't is quite informal. So Trinka says that it should be does not, it should be did not, and then here it says that it should be does not. And here, if you say that, if you see that it says that examined is a passive voice, then for the objectivity we should use the active voice. So that is what Trinka suggests to do that as a advice, and you can choose to accept or reject this change. And then the domain specific terminology. So as I just mentioned that Trinka is custom built for academic and technical writing. What we have done is that we have we have carefully built a spell checker, which is also a machine learning model. And there we have added a lot of domain specific dictionary. So here, if you see, this is a technical word from a medical domain, and Trinka accurately identifies and gives the correct spelling of this domain. And this might not be the case with other products in the market. They might just give this as a spelling mistake and may not be able to give you the correct spelling. But however, since in Trinka we have custom built our spell checker for this purpose, then Trinka serves that purpose very well. And then for the style and consistency, I'm going to demonstrate our consistency feature. So here, if you see that it says that these are some of the categories like dashes, figures, and numbers. So for example, here if you see, then it says that atrial space septal used 3 times and atrial hyphen septal used just once, and you can choose one of these variants and that will be applied. So you can see that here in the editor also those four things are highlighted, and you can choose one variant. Imagine that you are working on a very large document and finding this such a sort of minute inconsistency related issue might be very time consuming. So this is where you can use AI and save time, improve productivity. And then if you see this figure and tables, what Dr. KK has already mentioned, so I'll take another example here. If you see the word, how you want to spell the numbers, whether you want to spell them as T or 2 or TWO, so that kind of consistency related to numbers also can be taken care by Trinka's model. So this is how specifically you can improve accuracy. So accuracy is multi-dimensional. As we all know, accuracy can be with respect to clarity, with respect to tone, with respect to consistency. So all those things can be done with Trinka AI. Trinka AI grammar checker, paraphraser, and consistency features. So now I'm going to move to our next product, which is Enago Read. So Enago Read is a AI-powered reading assistant, which helps you speed up your literature review process. So you can upload a document and you can create your reading list like this. You can have your project created here, and you can add all that you wanted to read. And as Dr. KK was saying, that for a particular research paper, using the power of AI, you can find the similar research paper in just seconds, so that you also get a lot of materials to read, a lot of materials to reference, cite, and so on. So this is also an example where you can use AI to improve the accuracy, to get the more papers to cite, to refer, and so on. And I also, so this is how you can start reading a paper. So you can just click on any of this paper, and that paper will open in a new tab. So I've already opened a paper here. So this paper is on the physical activity and sports real health benefits, a review with insights into the public health of Sweden. So this is a paper, and this is the co-pilot. So as you can see that I was doing Q&A with the co-pilot. So I just asked a question. What is So I just want to, let's say, ask this question. Then Copilot will simply, answer this question. So this way, I can comprehend this paper much faster. So this says that the research outcome of this paper is to describe the physiological and psychological health benefits of sport stemming from both physical activity and sports participation, and so on. So this is how you can, using the AI, you can comprehend the paper faster. And also we also show the section wise summary and key insights from this paper, so that you can decode this paper faster and understand this paper much better. And also you can ask a follow-up question, you can copy this, and there are a lot of things. And also you can select any piece of text in the paper and get a simple explanation, as Dr. KK showed in his presentation. So in summary, I would say that with Trinka and with Enago Read, you can achieve accuracy in your academic writing, in your literature review process. And with Trinka, you can get the formal tone, subject-specific um, terminology, consistency, style-related accuracy, and so on. And with Enago Read, you can get the related papers faster. You can ask the question, you can ask the follow-up question, you can find a similar literature, review paper, and so on. So these are some of the AI-powered features that we have in Trinka AI and Enago Read that you can use to improve the accuracy in your academic writing. I think that is all from my side. I'll stop sharing my screen. Um, and I have one exciting announcement to make now, which I'm very happy to share with you in just few seconds, as soon as yeah. So here is the announcement. I'm very excited to say that all of you are eligible for a 20% flat discount on Trinka's Premium or Premium Plus plan. So please avail this offer, and to avail this offer, you need to use this coupon code, which I'm highlighting here in the Zoom, this AI Web 20. So you can use this coupon code and get flat 20% off on the Trinka Premium and Premium Plus plan. So this offer is exclusive, is exclusive for our webinar attendees. So I'll highly encourage that you go and avail this offer. And here in your screen is mentioned that you can just create an account on Trinka. Once you create an account on Trinka, you will get an upgrade button. You just click that upgrade button, and on checkout page, you just use this coupon code, and 20% off, or you will get 20% discount. And then for the remaining amount, you can make the payment. Yeah, I think that is all from my side. Over to you, Vidhi. Thank you, everyone.
That was a very insightful and valuable in enhancing our academic writing journey. Thank you, Piyush, for sharing your expertise and showcasing the power of AI. After witnessing these impressive AI tools in action, I'm sure everyone's curiosity has been piqued even further. So let's begin with our Q&A session. So the first question that we have is for you, Piyush.
Yeah.
Does Trinka have a function to convert text commands into a graph such as pie chart or bar graph, etc.?
Currently, we don't have that because Trinka is focused on academic and technical writing and not in that particular aspect. So currently, we don't have that.
And how to effectively use AI tools for literature review and scientific review. I have used Trinka AI, but it increases the plagiarism when I correct everything accordingly to Trinka.
Okay, so two part to this question. First one is that how they can use AI for the literature review and scientific review. So, as I was just showing that with the using AI, one can find the related research paper. One can generate the summary of the research paper, generate the key insight from the research paper, and to comprehend the research paper better, features like Copilot can be used so that Q&A can be done on a research paper and literature review can be made faster. So these are some of the ways where AI can be used for the literature review and scientific review. Coming to the second part of question, where it says that using Trinka AI, it was showing the plagiarism. So I want to clarify one thing, that if your content is not original, if your content is copied or if it is generated by generative AI such as ChatGPT, then that might happen. But if your content is original, written by you, idea is original, then if you use Trinka, then your content will not be under the plagiarism. Under the plagiarism, yeah, it will not be a plagiarized content. It will be considered as original content as long as it is your original content.
Very true. On this note, is it ethical to use AI tools for academic writing?
Yeah, it is ethical to use AI tool, but it depends how you are using that. If you are, trying to write entire paper with generative AI, such as ChatGPT, then certainly it is unethical. But if you are using AI to improve your potential, improve your productivity, just like me and Dr. KK showed, then it's certainly, ethical. So it's totally up to you that how you are using it. So yeah.
And can Trinka be used for academic paraphrasing?
Yes, it can be used for academic paraphrasing.
Right. So there is another question. I use artificial intelligence tools like for paraphrasing, data transcribing. My first question is about ethical considerations. Is there anything wrong with this? And my second question is, could you please recommend some reliable tools for qualitative data analysis?
So first question, is it ethical to use? As I just mentioned, it is
Yeah.
ethical to use as long as um, you are not generating entire thing, not copying somebody's idea. It is your original idea. However, I want to add one thing is that some of the journals guideline or submission guideline might require you to declare what kind of help you have taken. So if you are not declaring that you have taken help of AI, then it might be unethical. Otherwise it is ethical. And I think for the second question, Dr. Keke, would you like to answer that second part of the question?
Yeah,
Data
I was actually researching qualitative analysis. I believe that would have be part text analysis. There are several tools, and the ones that I've looked up right now. I'm not an expert in this, but Lexalytics, Semantify, Monkey Learn. I've used Monkey Learn actually for sentiment analysis myself for a separate use case. And there are so many things like Google Cloud Natural Language API. So these are some of the things that I looked up right now. I'm not an authority in this, but I'm sure that you can look up and find the answers for this.
Yeah, true. So can Enago's tools be used for finding research gaps in a study? Dr. KK or Piyush?
Let me try to answer. Piyush, you can maybe add on to this.
Yeah.
So it is a tricky question. So you can use things like Copilot to understand the research paper, and if you correlate what you find in the research paper, you can identify what is not in the research paper. But it won't. But you cannot simply write a command in Copilot or a prompt in Copilot or for any such tool. I would believe. Just let me know what are the gaps in this. Piyush?
Yeah, I think you are right. I have not much to add there, but
Right. But to add to it, there are other tools. Obviously, you can. It's like asking Google, for example, right now. And Google currently with Chrome browser, at least, it is offering the Gemini Pro generative AI answer. And so I would say that you can start. These are broad questions, and to sort of start with your what is the research gap in my field, maybe you can start with this. But once you reach a certain stage, you have to switch to apps that you can trust, and that is where apps like Inago Read
Enago.
are very important. Yeah.
And do I have to declare in a manuscript that I use Trinka AI?
So it depends. Answer to that is as simple as that. If your submission guideline says that the help that you have taken, you have to declare that, then yes, you have to declare that, otherwise it's not required. Because some of the submission guideline also says that if you have taken help of human to edit your paper or any kind of that, then declare that. So as long as that is there, then you need to declare, otherwise there is no need to declare.
I'm going to add to this. There's another question, Vidhi. I'm going to take the liberty of reading out that question.
Sure.
Do I need to declare to journal that I've used ChatGPT to polish my language, right? So these are related questions. So Piyush mentioned if I've taken the use of a human being to edit, proofread, do I have to mention Trinka and ChatGPT? So as of right now, there are different journals and different publishers with different stances. Some clearly mention that if you have used any form of ChatGPT assistance, you have to mention it. And that sort of goes for any other tool as well, because it is good to be transparent as to how you have done what you have done. But there are some other journals who that draw a line, basically say that if you have only used ChatGPT or any other tool to generate content, then you have to specify that. It does not matter if you have used it for polishing, proofreading, etc., which would also sort of mean that you don't have to mention Trinka AI or a human proofreader. So there are different publishers with different guidelines. You'll have to look at the journal or the publisher to understand what is the right thing for your particular manuscript. In general, the world is moving toward a stage where writing assistance or improving, correcting language does not need to be mentioned. But anything beyond that, where the ownership or the responsibility of what is it that you are publishing, that is sort of shared between, let's say, AI or tools and the human, then you have to mention it.
Right, makes sense. And for interdisciplinary research paper, does AI provide accuracy in the different terminologies and variables, such as their correlation?
Okay, let me take this. I think this might be related to the example that we showed, and there were some controversies regarding the use of correlate. So I understand if it is with that example, yes, there might have been. The idea was for me to choose something that is easy for you to sort of interact with. But in general, the idea is that a tool that is dedicated for a purpose, which has been trained and which is sort of provided by a brand or a app maker that is trustworthy, then you can trust the tool because they are working with the purpose of giving you the best product, right? So some apps are like, for example, Trinka AI. We are designing the app to make sure that you get the best academic research writing assistance, and similarly, Inago Read, you get the best sort of reading experience. So we are very focused and we are very passionate about that. So we will do as much as possible the best work that we can do to ensure that your experience is best. So similarly, for interdisciplinary research, there are tools out there. And you can even use the Chat GPT, let's say 4, and with specific plugins and the custom GPTs, you can do some of these. But currently, I cannot think of a particular app that or a tool or whatever resource that you can use for this. you can use multiple things and sort of plug in the gaps. For example, for explaining concepts in a, let's say, SME heavy paper, subject matter heavy paper, you can use things like Copilot. But for discovering things in other things, maybe you can use another tool, things like that.
Right. There's another one I want to ask about understanding the appropriate utilization of AI, specifically in the context of composing articles. If we possess original content and employ AI assistants to refine it, would copying the improved text from AI tool into our manuscript align with ethical standards? Moreover, is there a risk of detection of AI used by plagiarism detection tools such as Turnitin?
Piyush, do you want to take this?
Yeah, I can take this. So as long as your content is original, um, there is very less chance that if you are using AI to optimize your content, meaning if to fix consistency, to improve the accuracy and so on, it will come as a plagiarized content. Chances are very less. But one thing we also need to understand that these technologies are also AI technologies. So if and they are not 100% accurate. So sometimes they might say that your content is AI generated just because they are not 100% accurate. But as long as your content is original, I think you should be fine. If you have not generated the content using generative AI, then that should be fine. And also, I want to emphasize one thing is that Trinka AI doesn't use any generative AI technology, doesn't use any large language model.
And to add to it, one key thing that I want to point out, the question asker basically asked if you can copy the text from, let's say, ChatGPT and paste it, right? So once again, I bring it back to the original thing. Are you accountable for the text that you are eventually going to submit, right? The answer is currently yes. So if you haven't read through what ChatGPT has done, and ChatGPT could do a really good job in for 90% of the text, but there could be places where it has made a change that you, in your haste to submit, maybe you have not seen what it has done, and it has resulted in something being inaccurate, which is the theme of this webinar to begin with. And that might be flagged by a peer reviewer, because they are expecting you to have done everything, as in read through the paper. You as an author, you are expected to be fully accountable for the accuracy of the thing that you have written. And if you haven't done that, especially if just the copy pasting bit, that's what I'm talking about. You can obviously use the content, in my opinion, as Piyush said. If the original content is yours, you're improving it using tools, you can use the content, but you still have to read through it and make sure that it is exactly what you intended to say, because AI tools are just doing what they think is right, and it is on the human to make sure that whatever they have done is right.
Right. Will Turnitin highlight that AI has been used after using Trinka for grammar and paraphrasing? This is a
No.
question asked
So,
frequently.
so yeah. The answer to that is no, because again, answer to that, it depends. So there is a assumption that your content is original, then certainly it will not detect. But if you have copied, if you're the content that you are writing on Trinka is not the original content, and then certainly Turnitin will detect that thing as a plagiarized content. And also one more thing I want to add to it, that a lot of users are also asking about uh, um, content generated by AI. That also authors, the publishers are detecting that also. So that technology is also not very mature. So sometime there are flaws in that AI content detection technology, and because of that, your content might come across as AI generated content. But as technology of AI content detection will improve, I am sure that accuracy will also improve. But coming back to the conclusion is that Trinka, again, I want to highlight that does not use large language model. And as long as your content is original, you should not be worried about plagiarism or getting under the AI content detection.
Right. If I want to do the manuscript editing, which tool do you suggest? Trinka or Enago Read?
Manuscript editing.
Yes.
So for editing, Trinka AI is the tool. So there is a fundamental difference between two. So Trinka is AI powered writing assistant where you can write and edit, and Inago Read is AI powered reading assistant where you can do the literature review, read something, use Copilot to do Q&A. So there is a fundamental difference. Thus, uh, for editing, for writing, Trinka AI can be used.
Right. KK, are there any frameworks or guidelines for ethical usage of AI for academic writing that you would let us know?
My God, this is a very deep question. I mean, the frameworks and guidelines are being made, to be fair. And the one that I can guide you to, I don't have it, I'll try to find a link, is a white paper published by
Mhm.
the STM Association, I believe, in December. That's something that I'm using to sort of gauge my own sort of understanding as to what is that line that one should not cross. That is primarily intended for publishers, but at least you can use it to understand where is it that the publishers are currently considering, is it safe to use AI tools, especially Gen AI tools. But in general, because I'm following this trend, a lot of, let's say, forward looking AI pro, let's say, research professionals and thought leaders, I would even use the term influencers in academia, are recommending that AI tools can be used for these kind of what we covered in our previous webinar as recommended use cases in general. And again, the thing is that the accountability of the content lies with you. So use the right tool for the right purpose and make sure that the content that you get is actually what you want to sort of publish. That is where it is. So STM Association white paper on generative AI. If I find the link, I'll put it in the chat box.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, KK. And with the last question for the evening, what about the presentation and drawing, such as a graphical abstract? Can we see something like that in the future along with the app you provide, Piyush?
That is a very interesting idea, and certainly we can think about adding that to our roadmap. But currently, it's not there. But certainly, we'll see that how we can add that to our roadmap.
Thank you so much, Piyush. And that wraps up our webinar on AI accuracy in research and academic writing. We hope you found today's session insightful and valuable in enhancing your academic writing journey. Remember, the journey to mastering academic writing with AI tools is ongoing, and we have a whole series of free webinars coming your way in the next month. Thank you all for being a part of this webinar. We would request you to please fill out the feedback survey displayed after you leave the webinar. Your participation will allow us to evaluate the effectiveness of our upcoming webinars. Join us again for another enlightening session where we bring to you a different aspect of utilizing AI tools to enhance your academic writing and publishing journey. Stay tuned. Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, KK, once again.
One quick request for everybody in the audience, please check out our apps using the QR code and let us know what you liked. And we are very, very curious to know what you liked about our apps and any feedback that you might have.
Yes.
Piyush?
Yeah, yeah, sure. And please register to Trinka and Inago Read and avail your 20% discount. And we also would like to see you in our next webinar. Till then, please take care of yourself. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Once
everyone.
again, thank you everyone for joining.